Wow, now Aaron, here we are, the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem. First of all, question, I'm 6'4". Why do we have to duck down so much to get in that small doorway?
Yeah, it's a small door. The door is called the door of humble access, or the gate of humility.
Okay.
And there's a few traditions about why it's so small. One could be that from a theological reason or a spiritual reason, we have bowed humbly as we're going to enter the birthplace of the King.
Makes sense. And right now we see there's construction underway here at the Church of the Nativity. Restoration. This is a good thing. This is one of the oldest churches in the world.
This is one of the oldest churches.
Tell us a little bit about the history.
Okay, well, Queen Helena, when the Christianity had been legalized, she came to the Middle East and she built churches where certain events had been done.
This was the mother of the Emperor Constantine, the Roman Emperor.
Constantine's mother, and she actually was a believer. She was a Christian.
Yeah.
And she came here a little later in her life.
This was the 4th century about?
Yes, in the 320s. So in 327, she came here and she constructed essentially the shape of the church that we see today.
Okay.
In fact, they're actually digging up the floor of her church and preserving it.
Yeah, I love that they're doing the restoration. And folks, people love this place. You can see tourists all around us. We're approaching Christmas time here at the Church of the Nativity. This is the place where Jesus was born. We'll talk about that in a second. We're going to see where he was born, but a little bit more about the history, Aaron.
Sure. The church stayed in function for only a little while. It was actually destroyed during the Samaritan revolt in the 330s.
Okay, so wow, that's a short run.
It was a short run. But then it was reinvigorated by Emperor Justinian in 565 and has pretty much stayed that way since. So it's been a continuously used church for nearly 1,500 years.
Wow, amazing. This is one of the oldest churches in the world. You told us that Jesus obviously was of the line of David. So prophetically, the Messiah had to be born in the city of David in Bethlehem, but there was another reason too, right? That Joseph, Mary, and Jesus came to this town.
Okay, so we know that there's in history, a new Caesar had come to power, and he wanted to tax his empire so he could fund his empire. So he was going to take a census. And so in tradition, in the Middle East, in Jewish tradition, they all knew their lineage, and so they would return back to their ancestral homelands to be counted, to figure out how much they should pay.
So they came from Nazareth.
Joseph and Mary had been living in Nazareth. It's where they had set up shop, so to speak.
Right.
But they made the pilgrimage down here. Even a very pregnant Mary, that was no excuse.
That's kind of a long journey.
It's a long
Nazareth
journey.
is further up north in the Galilee region. We're down in Judah, in Bethlehem.
All of David's family would have come here. Right. All of those who were of the house of David would have come here, not just them. And so that's also commemorated here. And the story is full of hope. It's a baby. It's full of mystery. It's full of angelic visitation. But there's a dangerous side to the story. There's a dark side to the story. The king of the universe. There's another guy who wants to be king, and he's coming into the story too. And so, in amongst the birth, there's danger. In amongst hope, in amongst joy, there's tension with the decree of Herod to kill the babies.
That's right.
And that is also commemorated here, very close by at a place called the Chapel of the Innocents. We'll go there very soon. They remember that as Jesus was coming into the world, it was a place filled of tension and danger.
Yeah, Herod sent out the decree that the baby should be slaughtered. He wanted to snuff out the Messiah in the womb. He knew the prophecies. Herod knew them.
He knew them. He'd been told them, and he was jealous. He wanted to preserve his kingship.
Christmas, such a time of great joy, but there is that dark twist, the slaughter of the innocents. Take us now to the Chapel of the Innocents that you mentioned.
Yeah, let's go remember the babies.
Let's do it.
Coming up, see how the first Christmas almost didn't happen. And later, we visit the very spot in Bethlehem where Jesus was born. Don't move.